tell you, you could be in love. Ushaipenda mtu mpaka unasikia kama venye Betty Chalo alikuwa anampenda mpaka ako like, what's going on? What's going on? Until you break up with this person, you don't know nothing about this man. You don't know nothing. Until you have a problem with someone, especially someone you're dating, you don't know them. Trust me when I tell you, you have no clue. And as we know, there are some exes who just are bile, as in bitter, angry. They have a lot of unresolved issues. And unfortunately, you wouldn't know about them until you've broken up with them. So the question is, how do you know if your ex is bitter about a breakup, right? Let's start with bitterness. What is a bitter person? I will read it from right here.
Definition.
If someone is bitter, they are unhappy and angry because they can't forget the bad things that have happened in their past, right? And sometimes it's also combined with the good things that have happened in their past that can no longer be part of their present or their future. That is where we start. And how do you know that your ex is bitter? Ushaikuwa na ex mwenye hadi saizi uko like wewe ni kugumu, ni kubaya.
Bitter ex. Of course, bitter exes wako. People who are still holding on to the relationship or haven't really. Me, there's one who told me, you will regret the day you left me. And I'm like, wow, karma will come to you. You'll regret one day. And I'm like, is this an Hollywood movie? There's no karma because I've left you.
And some of the reasons why we've seen that people can be a little bitter is one, the breakup. What was the situation of the breakup? Was it a good breakup? Was it a bad breakup? As an individually as Kathomi, I try and end most of my relationships at a very happy, sane note. Because a bad breakup, let me tell you, Maina, a bad breakup can lead to a lot of bitterness. Even you, when someone has broken up with you and mliachana na mabaya, you're always like, huyo hata sijui akwende huyo. You know, that energy is what you're left with. Another reason why someone could be bitter out of a relationship is because it was a really toxic relationship. And especially with toxic relationships, because of the fact that you don't, when you've left a toxic relationship, you're never really fully recovered. It's until you've broken up with the person that now you sit down with yourself and you're like, yani ni mimi alichapa? Am I the one who was getting beaten like a dog? Why was I in that relationship if this man was beating me or this woman was beating me? Did they really refuse to give me money for food? Were they really intentionally trying to make me starve? Like, what the hell is that about? Because I don't understand how someone can break up with you and they were toxic to you and you reflect upon it and you're happy. It's impossible to do that. I think we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. There's a little bit of a technical hitch. We'll be right back.
Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. Hey.
10 signs that your ex is still bitter about the relationship. So I was telling you a few reasons why they would be bitter about a relationship ending, and I think I mentioned 2 already. So the last 2 are they were frustrated or it was a really bad experience. Like your relationship was a bad experience to them and they are now feeling very bitter and a bit slighted, even cheated for being in the relationship with you, okay? So what are some signs that your ex is still bitter? I think one of them is that how they speak to you, how they respond to you, how they act around you. Are they rude and abrasive? Oftentimes, if your ex is very rude and abrasive towards you when you speak, when you bump into each other, they probably are still very bitter about that relationship.
Another thing is they're upset or they're just very irritable or get very emotional when it comes to you. Just very upset. You wake up, you find drunk calls at 3 a.m. or they're hurting and they feel the need to just explain all of these emotions. It could come off as a very hurtful way. You post something on Instagram on a reply, oh, so you're happy without me? Good for you. May thunder smite you. Just some of those signs.
Yeah. Another one is how they are they keep talking about the two of you. Sometimes you're not necessarily broken up, you're trying to find a solution, but you get to a point which is a boulder or a block, which is just there's no return in this relationship, and therefore they realize, bebe, this is never going to come back, we're never going to be in this relationship again. Yet they were still trying to find a solution, or they're refusing to admit that there is no solution to this problem, and therefore they can feel very irritated, very, again, slighted, and therefore it can cause a lot of bitterness.
Or they make things difficult for you. We've seen cases of where divorces are dragged on for years because one person will not sign. We've seen cases of where, one ex goes to pick up their belongings and I'm not giving you anything. Anything you bought while in this house belongs to me, blah, 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 blah. Or they burn your things, they cut off your shoes. They just make life difficult for you so that you feel the pain they are feeling.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the way they talk about you. If they are always trying to one-up you in conversations, or when they're speaking to someone else and they're like, hey, you are saying that, do you know what that person was like? Do you even understand what they were like? It always feels like they're trying to find a justification, or they're trying to find justice for how they felt in that relationship or the end of that relationship. And they would want other people to know how horrible you are in their eyes and in their experience in order to somehow give themselves solace.
And also they are in their motivational speaker bag.
Ah, my God.
Now, you have done this before. Muna post emotional quotes on Instagram, subliminal messages. I've done it, you've done it, everyone has done it.
Another one is they kind of have a Snoopy obsession. On your stories, yeye ndio wa kwanza kuona. On your post, they're the first ones to post and comment under the post. They always seem to be on top of everything you're doing. I saw you went to, Mombasa for your vacation. How was that? I saw, I had. And sometimes they'll even make it a comment. They'll make a comment on your comment section. They'll put it on your DMs. They will send you a text. They will even try and call you and be like, by the way, I said, Nani Semad. Those are people who are kind of still a little salty.
Yeah, this one, I'm on the wall on this one. I don't know which side it falls on, but it says trying to prove how happy you are post breakup.
Yeah.
Me, listen, you're not going to see me sad. You're not going to see me posting, emotional quotes. But I do see how this could come. I don't see how it comes off as a bitter move. We break up today, tomorrow I'm in Bali. How is this bitter to you, okay? I'm just showing you I have options. Yeah, it's a bitter move. Yeah. Appearing very happy or trying to look like this breakup didn't affect you and this relationship ending has no consequences for you, that could come off as bitter.
And as we wind up, they make both poor decisions and want absolutely nothing to do with you. Sometimes bebe anakuona, the way you meet on the streets, and as Kiki says, I could be walking down the street and see this man and I wouldn't know who that man was. Ama anakuona anapiga kona backwards. Just know the end for you.
And also, block them. Me, I will block you. I will block you and ancestors. I'm bitter like that.
Hey,
so
petty.
Tell us how you're bitter when you're first relationship.
And if you have been trying to understand it, you can also catch us on our DMs at Kathomi, at Sharife. Trust me, we have a lot more insight than just that. But until next week, same time, same place.
Have a lovely weekend.